Good Wednesday morning, and thanks for checking out the latest BAMWX forecast analysis here. Michael Clark with BAMWX.com and theweatherporthole.com. We're taking a look at our intro slide. We're going to talk about, obviously, the updated trends with the forecast for Laura and overall the weather ahead here the next couple of weeks in a nutshell. The 3 to 7 day impactful weather outlook calls for much above normal temperatures here across the central U.S. into the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. And then possibly, not possibly, but the tropical remains likely of Laura to move in. Laura is now a Category 3 hurricane. Some adjustments in where we anticipate this to go from 24 hours ago, but the intensity forecast looking pretty good. Let's take a look here at satellite this morning. Just a mesmerizing image of Laura this morning as it looks like we're kind of going a little bit of an eye wall replacement cycle here, or just a clearing out of that, if you will. Once we begin to see that, we will probably strengthen this hurricane into a Category 4, possibly a high end, possibly. We'll kind of see how this goes. We're hoping as it gets closer to the shoreline that the shear forecasted will start to weaken it some and perhaps, limit how severe the impacts could be. Regardless, it's a major hurricane, okay, that's going to impact a wide section of the Texas, Louisiana coast, okay? So a very big, powerful storm this morning that, we're concerned with. And take a look here at the latest HWRF forecast that's just come in. Has landfall tonight, right about 10 p.m. to midnight. Forecasting a 937 millibar low. That's probably pretty close. Could maybe be a little bit lower than that regardless. Strong hurricane to make landfall here. Idea yesterday was landfall here, which is about 100 miles or so west of there. So the trends in the last 24 hours have definitely been east of the thought process 24 hours ago. No question about it. And we've seen a wide variance of error in the European ensemble outlook forecasts here. I want to show these because this weighs in on the forecasting challenges with these systems. This is a look at the EPS mean landfall forecast from the last 6 runs, and you just look at the variance here of where the landfall is going to go. And even the latest run now that has just come in is actually east of this. It's closer to the Cameron area. And so we've seen just a huge we first trended west, and a lot of that's probably due to some of the northerly shear vector and some of the overall orientation of this hurricane. So it's good news for the Houston, Galveston area. It's bad news for southwestern Louisiana. You don't wish one over the other. It's just an unfortunate situation for anybody who's going to take impact from this. This is where the potential for the for the wind to be over 110 miles per hour exists. It's about 160 mile wide swath. For winds over 74 miles per hour, it's 180 miles. All right, so it's a very large area. So I don't want you to focus on if the eye lands here, that's going to be the worst part. The worst part is obviously always just east of the eye of the storm. But there's going to be a lot of people here impacted, and this storm surge is intense and life-threatening. It's going to work its way into the coast pretty far, and I'm very concerned. Okay, just if you're in the path of this, if you're in the purple or the red of any of these categories, just get out. That's the thing, is it's probably going to level things and just drown them out. Potential for major flooding rain, of course, as well. But again, something I want to make note of for the wind. Even here in the eastern harbor of Galveston and Houston, you're still dealing with possible hurricane force winds. All right, even though the hurricane is going east of your location. I feel like that is important to note. Rainfall. That's the big question after this storm moves out. Rainfall from this event. Models are all over the place, and that's not out of the question that's not out of the normal, I should say, when we are dealing with situations like this. If models struggle with, everything, with all this different synoptic features. Regardless, the trend that I'm most concerned with here, obviously, is Louisiana, Missouri, flooding rains. My confidence is high in this year. I think there's going to be very heavy, Louisiana and Arkansas, not Missouri. My confidence is very high that there's going to be a lot of rain here and possible major flooding. And the models really see that in the short term of it. It'll go up into the lower Ohio Valley, where I think you can get an inch or two of rain from this as it skirts to the north and east, probably I-70 south. Where I question, this is a blend of models here, where I question the rainfall from Iowa, Illinois, and portions of Indiana. This is 7-day rain. You can see, look at the lack of rain the European advertises. Even the latest GFS is dried up. The Canadian's quite a bit wetter. And obviously the blend of everything is pretty wet. But I'm still in question of how much rain can actually fall here in Iowa, being how dry it's been. There is a risk for it, okay? There is at least a forecast for it, but my confidence is not high. When looking at August precipitation ranks, 128 equal driest, 1 equal the wettest. We're looking back to the first 25 days of August, looking at the last 128 years. It's been very, very dry, guys. Especially in here, you're looking at just an incredibly dry month. And again, where it's already been incredibly dry, or where you even got rain across portions of Iowa, a lot of it came from the derecho. We've had some relief in the northern part of the state, southern Minnesota. The southeastern Corn Belt has done well. Okay, still very dry in here. Going back to the original summer outlook and or the original thought process here going forward is that we would see some problem areas. Some areas that are lacking rain. Even up here in northern Indiana, northwestern Ohio, you're still top 28 driest starts to August, But in through here, you're looking top 10 to first in some of these locations. It's been very dry, so we need the rain. No question about it. Week 1 precipitation, percent of normal forecast. Again, I'm questioning this in here. This is the area I'm just a little uncertain on and not fully confident we're going to get the rain, but the models have it. That's the thing. All right? I wouldn't bet the farm on it. All right? The old saying goes. Week 2 precipitation. This is the end of the week 1 period into the beginning of week 2, I think, can feature some active weather patterns as we're going to be running a trough into a ridge, okay, into the southeastern ridge. And I think it can be wet for a time. The risk, though, is for the rains not to verify in some of the very dry areas of the Central Plains, especially Iowa. Because a slightly quicker Phase 2 to Phase 3 in this period, the western dryness may push east into the plains more quickly. Okay, that's a risk to that forecast. Looking here at the temperature forecast, one thing we want to direct our attention to is just the western Pacific typhoon activity and the possible recurvature of a storm system here around day 6, day 7. It may influence the jet here, the North Pacific jet, and re-influence a cooler risk at the end of week 2. We also note the Southern Oscillation Index continues to fall. This would also indicate a possible risk here of another cold front coming in, another storm date showing up, which may put some of the September warmth on hold until the second half of the month. A pretty solid analog at this distance right now is the, let's see, go back here real quick. Where'd my temperature one go? I think it's the next one, my apologies. Here it is right here, is the 2007 analog, where we started pretty cool in September and then got pretty warm the second half. So your week 2 forecast looks like this. It's got a trough in here. It's got a big cold front coming in, cooling it down. Pretty similar to 19. A little bit more widespread possibly, okay, during this time frame. All right. Now, the risk is the end of that forecast. You see EPS last night in the 10 to 15 got colder quite a bit, and it's probably picking up on the recurvature. And the risk is late week 2 into week 3 could get cold. Okay, the trough could hang around, and the risk would be a look like this. Okay, here's your week 3 CFS V2. It's very chilly looking. It maxes out the color table here, the big trough, and that would bring in, the conditions would remain dry, albeit cooler for a time. They would remain dry. It would be after this time frame we might anticipate to turn hotter towards the second half of the month. We'll have more on that in the coming days. Again, if you are in the path of Laura, please do not sleep on this, even if you're not in the eye of the storm. This is a very serious situation. There's no sensationalism going on or hype. This is a possible Category 4 upon landfall, and it is going to drastically impact everything that it touches. Our thoughts and prayers are with the folks in the path of this storm, and we will keep everyone updated as much as possible. Have a great Wednesday.